Good afternoon, everyone, from the IBD Newsroom. Welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. Well, we're going to take a look at another bullish session for the NASDAQ today, 11 wins in a row. Also take a look at breakouts for Shopify and Universal Display, and a bullish move for Amazon.com. But first, let's take a look at the NASDAQ, which, like I said, it extended its winning streak to 11 sessions. Good afternoon, everyone. Ken Shreve joined by Ed Carson. And Ed, I think it's 11 up days in a row for the NASDAQ now and a close near session highs.
Pretty nice day. Nice day. And yeah, the NASDAQ just keeps on cruising along. The S&P as well. Both of them hit all-time highs. Dow probably was a closing high, and it just missed out on an all-time high by a few points. It really looked strong action. I mean, we're maybe a little extended from the 50-day line, so it wouldn't be surprising if now or in early January we had a sideways action or a pullback. But everything was looking pretty healthy. We actually published a stock market outlook story that's on the homepage right now, just looking at some of the factors, and it's just everything, some of the headwinds that were out there, trade wars and Brexit and some other issues, they sort of parting, and it's fairly positive signs going into the new year.
Yeah, you see a chart of the NASDAQ holding comfortably above its 50-day moving average. I think it would take about a pullback of about 5%, maybe a little more than that, just to get down to the 50-day moving average. But certainly has been a great year, and we'll see what 2020 holds. All right, let's take a look at some individual stocks today, starting with Shopify. This stock has been getting a lot of attention as it built this cup-shaped base, and it looked like the stock was up a little more than 2% today, crossed a 409.71 buy point. So a decent looking breakout for Shopify today.
Yeah, I mean, it did close below that entry. So there's that. And the volume wasn't really that tremendous, which isn't that surprising given the time of year. We were looking at this, on IBD Live today, as it happened, and it's just something to look at. It already cleared sort of an alternate entry, sort of a double bottom type buy point. I think it's more like at 349.54, somewhere around there. There's sort of like that little top of that W when it was hitting the 50-day line several weeks ago, or when it cleared through there. And but it's positive action. There was strong online shopping. It was like there's a report that said like online shopping was up like 18% or 19% in the holiday season. Now it's a total of 14.6%, and Shopify is powering all that. This is one of the big software leaders, one of the big leaders of 2019, just clear-cut, massive growth for the stock and earnings.
Yeah, I remember Mike Webster saying last week on IBD Live we were going to see if it could form a little handle area where the last remaining sellers get shaken out just under that 400 area, and it looks like it consolidated for about 4 days or so, and then it broke out today. So technically didn't form a handle, but good heavy volume game for Shopify.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Universal Display. Now this was actually a powerful breakout for OLED. That's the ticker OLED. This is a stock that spiked above a 208.11 buy point. This, again, had been talked about on IBD Live for several shows as it was building this cup with handle base, and looks like a really solid close for OLED today, Ed.
Yeah, it was really good. This one, as you said, really did have volume, so nice action. The relative strength line, sort of that purple line down there, down near the bottom, it isn't, it's nowhere near, it's not near the consolidation high, but it is above the high of the handle, so that's something. And the handle's long enough that if you wanted to call it, it could be its own flat base by itself. So That's a little bit of positive action. As the ticker suggests, it is in an OLED displays. It does some of the technology components in those things for smartphones, for TVs. So it's a lot of things going on there, really vibrant colors. This one has tremendous growth. It also has big ups and downs on its earnings, but right now it's on an upswing. So
yeah, and really just a good example of what a good, solid technical breakout looks like for Universal Display today. Okay, we're going to end by talking about Amazon.com. I mean, headed into today, this stock really looked like it had been kind of left for dead. Below its 200-day moving average, kept trying to get above the 200-day line, getting resistance, kept getting turned away, but they had some pretty good, along with the MasterCard data that said, online shopping up 18.8%, something like that. Amazon also had pretty good data as well. Not real specific, but good data.
Yeah, I mean, they said, we had record sales. Well, they always have record sales until the day comes when e-commerce sales flatten out and we're in a deep recession. We're going to see record sales, but there were two pieces of news that are really good. They said that in 1 week alone that 5 people either signed up for Amazon Prime or took that trial, which is just really positive there. And they also said that same day or 1 day shopping came, nearly quadrupled from a year ago. So that's again a sign of how that's shifting in there. They've spent a lot of money on that this year. That's an issue going forward. But yeah, as you can see, it blasted through that line there, that sort of that grayish, whitish line there. That's the 200-day line. It's peaked a couple of times above it, but this looks like the first time it's decisively above that level since late July. It's got a lot of work to do, but this is like, maybe it's the beginning of something.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it. Definitely cleared some, pretty clear technical levels today. And I mentioned on IBD Live this morning that out of all the packages that showed up for me on Amazon this year, I think about half of them showed up same day, and the other half were, as promised, one-day delivery. So all the investment that Jeff Bezos has made in their distribution network it really does, at least for me, a real finely tuned machine, at least delivery-wise. All right, well, so we'll end with Amazon.com. That'll do it for today's edition of Stock Market Today. Again, 11 straight up days for the NASDAQ. We'll see what Friday holds. A couple of house cleaning items. We do have, let's see, I think we're going to talk about, investing with IBD. That drops every Thursday. That's the Investing with IBD podcast with Arusha Paris. So check that out at investors.com/podcast. He's got his end of year Christmas special, of course. And also, we've been mentioning IBD Live. Are you on IBD Live tomorrow, handling the news as usual?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to be handling that.
Okay, well, I'll be there right with you. So you can get more information at investors.com/IBD Live. We go on air every morning, 9:20 a.m. Eastern Time, and we go for a full hour, even a little more than an hour.
More than an hour, but we really focus on actionable stocks and really going over the pros and cons. I mean, Shopify and Universal Display, great examples, but that's what we're really trying to do. I think it's a really useful tool for people to be watching this.
Yeah. So we have a lot of fun every morning. We keep always talking about the fact that we're at the end of the year, which is typically, a quiet time of year. But there seems to be always a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stocks moving. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining, and thanks for the insight, Ed. I guess we'll see you back here tomorrow. I'll be here with Justin Nielsen right at the market close. Until then, have a great afternoon, everybody.